Hey guys, my name is Manjunath, and in this video I want to teach you how we can become a web developer. This is the roadmap to become complete web developer, and let's get started. First you have to learn what is HTML and CSS. That's the most important thing in this particular field, that is web development. If you don't know what is HTML and CSS or how to use it, you'll just regret, because there is nothing much to do in web development if you don't know what is HTML and CSS. So once you just know the basics of HTML CSS, then you will be slowly able to move to JavaScript, and by using JavaScript you will be able to make whatever you did in HTML and CSS interactive. So make sure you build at least 5 to 10 projects using combined technology of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So learn JavaScript properly, because it's going to get used in pretty much everywhere if you are using node based environment. So anyways, you need to have Node.js installed on your system, and you need to make sure you know what is Git and GitHub. Once you start creating on 5 to 10 project, you'll start to understand that you have to manage multiple files and multiple version of this particular files or project. So you have to learn how to manage those using Git and GitHub. So once you are familiar with Git and GitHub, and you already know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, now you can pick any kind of front-end framework. I'll give you 3 options. Choose any of these framework and start learning in depth about this thing. First option is React.js, second option is Vue.js, third option is AngularJS. I would be picking React.js if I have to choose between these 3, but you can pick pretty much any of these 3 framework. So just try these 3 framework one by one, and start going in depth by choosing one framework. Once you have choose one of this framework, you need to know how to handle APIs using this particular technology you are using. So you need to understand what is API in order to do that. There are a lot of resources, and you'll get how to use REST API in your front-end framework project. So once you are familiar with this front-end framework, now you can call yourself as a front-end developer, and you can start applying for front-end development job. So if you want to just stick to front-end, you can stop here and you can start applying for a job, or you can build any kind of website using just front-end technologies. Once you are familiar with front-end and satisfied and comfortable in there, you can start jump into backend technologies. Backend technology includes any kind of backend framework, that is Laravel, Node.js or Django. In these particular things, when I was just getting started, I learned Laravel, but you can choose any framework among these 3 things. Just understand that Django works in Python. So if you already know Python, that's amazing. You'll be able to work with Django. But if you don't know Python, or if you don't want to learn PHP, that is for Laravel, then you can directly jump to Node.js, because you already learned JavaScript in the beginning only. So you'll be able to build anything using Node.js as your framework. And while working with backend framework, understand that you have to use HTML and CSS, and you have to make this HTML and CSS interactive using JavaScript. Plus you need to fetch any kind of backend database data and show it in the front end, and use it for authenticating users and a whole lot of other things. So that's entirely based on backend framework which you will choose, and you'll be able to go in depth in that particular framework, that is either Django or Node.js or Laravel. Pick any of this framework and you'll be able to understand more regarding it. So once you are familiar with backend as well as front end, now you are a full stack web developer. Full stack web developer are paid little bit more in the market, and even the basic job starts with the full stack only nowadays, because companies want people who know the both front end as well as back end, so they'll be able to hire and able to get the project done quickly. So if you want to apply for front end as well as back end job, that is called as full stack web developer, and you can directly apply any of this kind of job. Then once you're familiar with front end as well as back end, you need to know how to deploy this project into the servers. That is, you can choose any kind of cloud, that is DigitalOcean, AWS, or Google Cloud, or any other easy cloud service like Netlify or even Heroku. So you need to learn basics of these things. Once you are familiar with these basics of the deployment, you can jump into Linux. So using Linux, you can literally deploy any of these kind of framework into the server, and you can make people see your work. It has lot of technologies involved. You don't have to learn everything today itself. Take your time. Some people might take 3 months to learn all these things. Some people might take 2 years. I took 5 years to understand all these technologies, and I'm still learning. So it's learning is the process, and you don't have to get overwhelmed that today you have to learn everything. It's not like that. You can take your time and learn any of these technologies, and you will get really good job by using any of these particular technologies. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.